boy Clouds P. As you can see, or for anyone that does watch us on YouTube, you'll be able to see the current situation. For anyone that's listening to us on SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, we are in a Zoom meeting. Zoom meeting is the correct term, I'm assuming, boys. That's what it's used for.
Yeah, definitely.
Obviously, due to the whole lockdown, we have struggled to put out more podcasts during this period. One, because of the whole Zoom thing. I'm personally not a massive fan of it. I know people don't mind, but I don't really like it. I'm gonna be completely honest. I'm not a big fan. And secondly, obviously, we had that massive international break. There wasn't too much to talk about other than obviously France, Belgium, Spain, and what was the final team? Through. Come on, boys. Bloody hell. So it was just around the corner. Whoever it was. It was
Spain, Portugal,
No, Portugal. No, it was France, Spain, Belgium, and someone else. But who cares anyway? It's international football. UEFA Nations League. I call it the Mickey Mouse Cup of international football, but it is what it is. So obviously with the international break, with the whole Zoom thing, I'm going to be completely honest. I wasn't too motivated to make any podcasts, but I thought now that club football is back, we're going to make an effort. We're going to do this podcast on Zoom. We're out of lockdown officially next week, so hopefully we're back to the normal setup. That's obviously with the whole Sequoia setup behind us, etc., etc. But leaving that all behind, my people, then introduce yourselves. Oh, come on.
Who's going first?
Yeah, it doesn't get to think.
It's Atavelli from the south side, back again.
Come on, next. You don't mind. If you want, you can do rock, paper, scissors. I don't really care. Fam.
My name's Liam. Hello. You should know me, hopefully by now, if you're a subscriber. If not, my name's Liam.
Hi. I'm definitely not Hunter Burner. I'm Adnan. Nice to meet you guys.
Obviously, being like held at home, if you are working from home, if you're lucky enough to have a job, to go to work, how has this whole lockdown been? This is already the second one we've been through this year. How's this one been treating you guys?
It's been rather quiet, to be fair.
So, right. If you've got like a job or if you're doing something, it doesn't feel like a lockdown.
Yeah.
No, it's not a lockdown. It's not as bad as lockdown 1 was, where everything was closed. Like absolutely everything. So it's whatever.
Yeah, no, true. It's been better, even though it's still shit.
Yeah.
But it's just keeping busy, innit? That's all it is, to be fair.
It's not an ideal situation, especially what 4 very handsome young lads, like, we like to be out here doing our things, but the government's trying to tell us, nah, you got to stay at home. But it is what it is. But anyways, other than that, we're here to do one thing. We're here to talk. Club football, like I said, is back. So it's only right we start off by talking about the Prem fixtures just gone. You lot can't see under me, but I am in loungewear. I'm in these really pretty pajama bottoms, but that's something you lot are not going to see on this episode. So with that being said, the first fixture of match day 8 was Brighton 0, Burnley. Okay, that just goes to show the game. It was a 0 game. I watched it from the first minute to the last. Yeah.
Not great.
Yeah, I don't think anything needs to be said. 0-0. I think the most... What happened? Didn't Lamptey get a red card? No, that wasn't that game.
Yeah, no.
That was a Villa game.
But Brighton can't hit a barn door. They tried to score so many goals that game, they couldn't get through.
Yeah. And regardless, we've said this on numerous occasions on the podcast, Brighton looking a very, very good team, but 1, can't score, and 2, even when they are in like winning positions, they just always bottling it. And then on the reverse side, Burnley, boring, rubbish. I personally think they don't hold any value. They don't bring no value to the Premier League. For any Burnley fans listening, that's just my opinion, but I stand by it. Anything you want to add?
I agree with everything you just said.
Brilliant. That's a very good start to this podcast.
It just makes it... I don't know. Burnley, obviously, are not that level, but a lot of teams struggle to go there and get a result. Obviously, recently, that's probably not the case, but if you look back in time, there's been some good games down at... what's it called? Stadium?
Turf Moor.
Turf Moor, that's it.
Yeah.
Turf Moor.
But funnily enough, boys, that was the wrong game week. We're actually commentating on game week 9, so I was right. Lamptey did get the red card.
So that's Villa. Is that Brighton
You're
Villa?
talking about Villa.
Yeah, so you was right. So yeah, first game of that game week was actually
Poor
Newcastle.
for me.
I know it is very poor. It just goes to show
Howler.
2 weeks away from the whole podcast. You know what I mean? It gets like that. You know? Anyway, Newcastle 0, Chelsea 2. Now,
I did expect Chelsea to slip up.
Really?
Lunchtime kickoff.
And
teams
plus
coming-
Newcastle's a boogeyman team still. Yeah, you're
Yeah,
right.
no, going up north, lunchtime kickoff, players coming back from the international duty. I thought, Newcastle could have nicked something from that game, but obviously it did not go that way.
They did nothing against us. Like, it was, I wasn't worried at any point in the game that they were going to do anything. Steve Bruce is anti football. Like, there was nothing there at all.
You know what? For a team like Newcastle, I know they kind of have that whole stigma behind them that they are a very anti-football team, defensive sided team. But if you think of it, yeah, Newcastle actually have a decent squad. It's not like they don't lack like good players. They have a good team in it. It's just maybe it's management. I don't know. Maybe it's just a philosophy that they've upheld from God knows how long. But bro, regardless if you're playing Chelsea or if you're playing Brighton, you know what I mean? You have to go out to win. And obviously Newcastle didn't come out to win. Chelsea exploited that. Could have scored many more goals. Obviously.
Yeah, Werner had a bad day as well. Like, he missed a couple chances. But like, if we're gonna be in that kind of chances throughout the season, I've got no worries that we're gonna.
He'll score. He'll eventually back. Yeah, 100%. It's worse for a team when they don't create,
get into the positions.
Well, do you know what I mean? Because if you're not creating chances, you're hardly going to score. Whereas if you create chances, especially a team like Chelsea that have a lot of quality, if Werner's not going to score, then Tammy Abraham will bag, for example, which he did.
Yeah,
he should have had more than one anyway. But overall good performance. Obviously, Lampard feeding Tammy back into the starting next side, which is actually good to see. He's actually partnering well with Werner as well. So that's quite interesting, especially if that partnership blossoms some more. The only issue now is like Havertz coming back from injury. Does that mean he's going to be seeing more bench time? Does Pulisic, like when he comes back, is he going to be mainly on the bench, coming off it?
These are good problems for Lampard.
100%.
Good problem.
100%. Now,
I'm as of right now, I'm Tottenham. Vinicius just scored. I'm just
saying.
You guys know.
Yeah, listen, if you're not getting any updates, whatever, let the people know because we are recording mid the second half of games. We're during all the 8 o'clock kickoffs. This was the best time that I could have jumped on the Zoom call, so I apologise, boys, if you lot were going to watch the football. Aston Villa 1, Brighton 2. This was the game that Lamptey got red carded. But considering they drew 0-0 to Burnley and then beat a very informed Villa side, we're seeing a bit of improvement now. Danny Welbeck, looking good, looking sharp, back in the Prem, bagging a chip, may I just add, bagging a chip. Is that what Brighton were missing? Obviously, they struggled to score goals, to kill off games. Danny Welbeck now in the team.
Happy birthday, Danny Welbeck.
What's his birthday today?
Yep, 30.
No, see, it's meant to be. Happy birthday.
He's 30, bro. Oh, my God.
Yeah. What happened to him? He was supposed to be like the next best England striker, Man United days. Then he had the step overs near the corner flag where it came off his heel. And what happened? What happened to Danny Welbeck?
We tried to love Neuer.
A lot of managers asking him to play their different styles, and you can't make a player adapt so much, and then it gets so funny. Injuries.
Yeah.
British press.
Yeah, obviously that also plays a major part. I just wanted to add as well, although Villa did lose, they had 15 shots that game. That was 15 shots to Brighton 7.
I was actually shocked Villa lost that game because they go away, so they go and win against Liverpool. They go away and beat Arsenal 3-0. Like, you got like RC sort of questions. Like, if you're getting these valuable wins against the top 6, you got to get some results down below as well.
100%. But if we're being completely honest, though, like as a group, I think it's fair to say that this loss against Brighton isn't gonna play much to whatever happens at the end of the season. I'm pretty sure it's just a blimp in the road. they'll hopefully pick up. I'm not certain on who their next game is, but actually, to be fair, I could find out very quickly. Bear with me. Aston Villa. So they have West Ham away. So could be a difficult game, but I do think Villa are probably the better side, playing better football. So do you know what I mean? I don't
That was
think
a draw. That was a draw written all over it.
you don't think Villa will come out on top?
Nope.
Nah, you're not banking on it.
Nope. But I'd say it's a high scoring draw.
Fair enough.
I just
Both
think
teams
it's
can't
just a
defend.
draw. Ross Barkley's injured now as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like,
I felt bad.
Villa-
Wasn't it like first 10 minutes or whatever? He pulled up and that was it.
Yeah, I think that's why they may have struggled to get goals as well, because everything just went for Grealish again, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So,
And you know what it is, yeah? As good as you are, if you have 4 or 5 man marking you, it's hard to get out of certain situations. So if obviously Grealish is constantly getting double teamed, etc., then you need that other outlet. And Barkley was always that other outlet. Do you know what I mean? And maybe they may struggle in that front. But fair enough though. Fair play to Brighton. Then we had you know what's mad? In my eyes, I thought this was a very surprising result. Tottenham 2, Man City 0. I say surprising not because I expected City to win, but I expected more from City. Regardless of how...
I did expect a fight, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, regardless of how bad they've been playing, like, going to London, going against Spurs, going against Mourinho, especially in Pep's eyes, a 2-0 defeat is do you know what I mean? It's hard on the heart, you know what I mean? Especially against, like, your great rival, no fight, nothing, and then Spurs just pretty much walked away with it.
Really and truly, no, I did expect a fight, but also they did have the goal ruled offside.
Yeah.
What was it? Handball. It was handball.
Handball, yeah.
yeah, but
So,
even then, it just didn't seem like it was a spirited Mourinho performance though. He could, and going into the game, Tottenham was in better form. Like they were blitzing teams, kind of thing.
100%.
They
actually
started
they won
way
enough already.
before, I think, as well.
Spurs sit top of the Premier League at the moment, isn't it?
I think so, yeah.
I think
They're Liverpool on points.
And if we are talking about the most informed team, it would be Spurs.
Yeah.
So now they're probably playing the second probably most informed team this weekend in Chelsea.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good game.
Do you think that game's going to be like, okay, cool, whoever wins this is now front runners for the title? Or do you think Liverpool's still front runners regardless of all the injuries?
Yeah,
I think there's no front runners.
Yeah, you're right.
It's too open.
Yeah.
We're in a season where anyone can beat anyone.
Yeah, 100%.
And anyone can get injured at any point.
Yeah.
And that's the scariest thing, though, isn't it? Like, I think everyone was so quick to rush, like, the reintroduction of the Premier League, and now we're kind of, like, reaping the repercussions of it all because players are now getting injured. There's all these games, and then the quality of a lot of the football's been dropping as well, obviously due to, like, just so much game time, etc., etc. But and then last game of the Saturday was the boring game. Man United 1, West Brom 0. Like, solved by a Bruno Fernandes penalty. He had to obviously retake it because it wasn't my man.
Absolute shithousery.
Yeah, it's crazy. You had, what was it, a penalty disallowed for West Brom.
Yeah.
United get a penalty, miss the penalty, get to retake it, score, win the game 1-0. However, Bruno Fernandes, let's open a mini dialogue. You know what?
Bruno Fernandes for Ballon d'Or.
I'm gonna be completely honest, and it's not like a Portugal bias. Adele, I'm not even gonna acknowledge that. I heard that. You're in the corner of my screen. I'm not even gonna acknowledge that. Bruno Fernandes, at this point, in my honest opinion, is unplayable. Whether it be in the Premier League, whether it be in Europa League, unplayable. I have been reading a lot of, I'm gonna use the word shit on Twitter, talking about he's better than De Bruyne, whatever. You know what's crazy? I don't think he's better than De Bruyne. However, if we're talking about current performances, Bruno Fernandes is topping everyone. The only
ADB come outside.
Listen, you know what? I'm not gonna say anything. The only midfielder, if we're talking about all-round midfielders, the only midfielder I think is competing at any level is Kante. Kante right now is just
But he's a great player, yeah.
Mind blown. It's amazing to watch. United, what's their chances in this so-called 5, 6, 7, 8 horse race?
Oh, I have no clue. I don't know what sides.
Not at the title, that's for sure.
No, it's definitely not at the title. But at the same time, I don't know which team's going to turn up every week.
What is your what would you be happy with at the end of this season? You're 10 game weeks in, so this week is going to be the 10th game week, yeah? What would you be happy with what you've seen so far? Like
top 4.
So you're just screaming top 4. As long as you get top 4, you're happy.
Top 4. We do well in the Champions League this year, so I'm saying quarterfinal minimum.
Eesh.
And an FA Cup run.
And
I'll be happy with. Yeah, I'll be happy with that.
Ole's still the manager at the end of the season?
Oh, hell no.
Okay.
So you've been Ole out recently.
Yeah,
He's been Ole out recently.
I'm done.
You fed up now at this point.
That guy gives me high blood pressure, fam.
Do you think it's reached that stage now that United fans are just not United fans, sorry, United players are kind of just getting fed up? They're like, you know what? We can't be bothered to play for my man anymore. Let's just see what we can do. If we can win, we can win. If not, we'll just go about it.
It's funny because when we're on TV and they zoom in on him, fam, I just want to punch the TV.
He's always watching if it's like a VAR call, he's got his own mini monitor.
He's putting a monitor. Yeah, I know.
But because he has no reaction, and he tries to do everything from while he's sitting down, it's just.
Yeah.
How about players going to respect that? Like, you've got players playing on the opposite side of the wing and you're shouting all the way across, but you're sitting down. Your body expressions are going to come across very well.
Yeah.
Obviously, we've spoken about if Chelsea were to get rid of Lampard, we'd want either Pochettino, Nagelsmann, etc. As a United fan, if you were to get rid of Ole, who would be your top 2 replacements?
There's not much out there at the minute.
Exactly, but
be kidding.
In an ideal world where either you could buy someone,
it'd definitely be Poch. Poch is still out there at the minute.
Yeah.
However, a lot of people have been saying this recently. Allegri.
You'd be happy.
He's still looking for a job.
Allegri, yeah. See,
as a Chelsea fan, I don't think I would want Allegri at my club personally, only because I know of his Juventus exploits and the football he'd like to play. But one thing's for sure though, he is a winner. I give it to him. He is a winner. He's won the league. I know it's difficult in that league considering the Juventus' budget, etc. Although
he's very similar to Conte though. He's he box orders.
Yeah, very pragmatic manager, very certain style of football. But then again though, United, I think United need that at this point. I think United need security in it. They need a certain play style. They need to stick to it. They need to just win consistently and then obviously build upon that and then go as far as they can. So maybe Allegri will. My only contradiction with that is obviously Arsenal also needed that. Kind of were living the high life at the beginning of Arteta's reign. Now it's not, you know what I mean? They're not really
scoring. Oh, great, yeah.
Minus today, which they beat Molde 3-0 in Europa League. It was 72 hours without a goal.
At half time, the fans are going crazy.
Yeah, exactly. So that could happen at United if a manager like Allegri was to come in. However, you cannot compare Manchester United's attack to an Arsenal attack. You have the likes of Rashford, Greenwood, Martial, Cavani now, Bruno Fernandes, Pogba, Van der Beek. You know what I mean? If you can fit them all in a system that works, I'm pretty sure you'll score goals.
Yeah, you saw it on Tuesday night. First half, we was frightening.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it was Istanbul Besiktas here though, so...
No, it's Istanbul Blade.
Okay.
Now, leaving United behind, they did not merit this long of a conversation because of how poor their game was, but we gave United some sort of red carpet treatment. It's fine.
No, but Arsenal going to get the same treatment. Isn't it funny how every time we're all 4 of us are together, it's either Lampard's doing well or it's Arteta doing well, and then it's either Ole doing well. They always change that balancing act. There's always someone doing bad the other week. Every time.
Yeah, I tell you what though, this is slowly becoming a Chelsea, Arsenal, Manchester United centre podcast. I'm telling you, fam. But yeah, cool. Next, we have Fulham 2, Everton 3. Very, very entertaining encounter. Loftus-Cheek bagged, Adnan. I don't know how that makes you feel.
I don't really, whatever. I didn't watch the game.
Have you given up with Loftus-Cheek? Like, you don't even care if he comes back and, like, fights for his place at Chelsea, none of that? Oh, we're frozen.
Fan. So, like, I think Ross Barkley was ahead of the pecking order for me in terms of the midfield. But, like, there's nothing against Loftus-Cheek, though. Like, he's still a great, great player. But for me, I think I always liked Ross Barkley, especially when he was at his Everton days. I think he was just a better player.
Yeah. On Everton's end, still winning, not as convincingly. Conceding 2 goals against Fulham isn't the greatest thing on the planet, considering how bad Fulham have been. But Calvert-Lewin, 2 goals, another great performance.
Yeah. However, Everton seemed to be losing that spark, though. Soon enough, Adele was right. They are burning out.
Yeah.
Yeah. They are burning out. Like, they just lost that factor. Like, everyone's just sort of figuring out Hammers a little bit as well.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a bit, you know what I mean?
Yeah. However, big shout outs to Iwobi. So Iwobi was actually moved to, like, right wing back, yeah. Had an amazing performance. Like, got in on the goal action, although he didn't score or directly assist, but, you know, he did his thing. He played really well. Is that what it needed? Like, a change of position, a change of, like, instead of being, like, on a winger and having to take players on and do something, whereas if you're pushed to wing back, you've got a bit more freedom. You don't always have to be in the mix, like, attackively.
It's one game.
Yeah. Yeah, to be fair, it is one game, but especially when you're given a new position, you're given all these instructions to do. It's easier to follow than expect to perform in a position you haven't been performing in, kind of thing. So like Carla maybe put an arm around him and said, "Oh yeah, I want you to do this for the game." Gave him a certain game plan. Probably followed it to the T, and it worked out well for him.
Yeah. What's with wingers being pushed to, like, wing backs though?
I don't know. Calvert-Lewin played right wing back for them at one point. I think everyone at Everton has to graduate that position at some point.
We say you get thrown at right wing first, and then depending on how you do, that's how it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's 2-0.
Who's that? 2-0 to who?
Spurs.
Hey,
Yep.
That's the Spurs running away with it. Now, I don't think it's a game that also requires too much attention. Sheffield 0, West Ham 1. Harler scored. Yeah,
It's good for his form, good for his confidence.
Yeah,
because he was great. We had a conversation while they were playing. We were talking to each other, and you said he was good at Frankfurt. He was a dangerous striker. It's just good for his confidence that he just got on a score sheet as well.
That's what merited his move to West Ham as well, was how good he was at Frankfurt. Do you know what I mean? But he's come to.
He's a free guy, Ben Rama, though. We need to see him.
100%. Leeds 0, Arsenal 0. Obviously, you can see
Liam,
Arsenal
take the floor, bro.
There's nothing to say. It was just poor. I mean, I'm not gonna say I didn't expect it, because I wasn't expecting to absolutely whoop Leeds, but I wasn't expecting an absolute whooping. So a 0-0 draw, I wasn't too surprised, but
it could have been more.
Yeah, I expected more though. Still, if that made sense.
Didn't Leeds have, like, however many shots? Like, they just went brazy, just kept
24-9 or something. Yeah.
Considering how we're supposed to be now this defensive-minded team, and that there's no words. Honestly, there's no words. But
if Leeds had their shooting boots on,
yeah, they hit the woodwork like 5 or 6 times, didn't they?
Yeah, but it's a blimp. You know what I mean? That we're gonna go through it. I've heard
you're
on
still
Twitter,
in, like,
actually, funny enough.
Would you say you're still in that phase of like Arteta's Arsenal career where you're still trying to figure stuff out?
Yeah, of course, 100%. It's his first ever, like, proper season as a manager.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got to give him minimum, in my opinion, you got to give him minimum 2, 3, well, not even 2, 3 seasons to actually work out his actual philosophy, know the players, bring in players that he wants, get rid of players he doesn't want, and actually find a step in the club and take the club forward in the right way, hopefully. But I've seen on Twitter that people are already saying Arteta out, and I'm just like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, people, I don't know what's wrong with people, especially Arsenal fans nowadays. I just don't get it. I just don't get it.
You know what it is? It's that whole thing though, isn't it? It's that whole, like, you know, in music they talk about like fast food music. They just want new music constantly.
Yeah.
Regardless if it's good or bad, they just want new stuff. I think that's how football's becoming, especially like Premier League clubs, because of the whole hiring and sacking. What 5 games? If Arteta's not doing bits, it's fine. We'll just get rid of him and we'll bring in new blood. You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, but it's the worst. It's the worst time to do that as well.
Yeah, 100%.
With all the football that we touched on, with all the football that's being played, and not a lot of rest in between games and competitions, it's the worst time to do that. So
yeah, no,
don't be surprised if there's a few sackings in the Premier League, well, around the whole of world football.
Yeah.
But don't be surprised if there's some sackings that will be very questionable. With going back, say, looking 2 seasons ago, would it have happened? Probably not.
Yeah.
Do you think it's been delayed now because of this whole COVID stuff, and they can't afford to like pay packages off for these managers? Because a lot of them, like, they get paid after they get sacked. Do you think like a lot of these people haven't jumped the gun because of this whole COVID stuff?
I think
tell you.
It definitely plays a part. But I think, you know what it is? I think owners and whoever's in charge of football clubs, I think they're a lot more considerate during this time as well.
Yeah.
I mean, so like, all right, my club's not doing the greatest. It's having like a few bad games. They haven't scored for 72 hours, whatever. But you kind of have to take in consideration the whole situation. Like, Arsenal are playing however many games in however many days. You know what I mean? I know it's a lot. I know it's like with a lot of clubs. I know a lot of clubs are playing European football, are playing club football on the weekend, are playing the FA Cup fixtures and all that, whatever. But do you know what it is? Some players can play 5 games a week. Others can't. Do you know what I mean? It all depends on their body. And I think that it's right now football's in a very delicate position. If clubs can avoid jumping the gun right now, unless it's catastrophic, we're not. But the thing is with Arsenal, it's not like they're losing every single game. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Like, you're not playing amazingly. You're not winning as often as you probably should. But it's not catastrophic yet. You know what I mean? I think far from it. Like, just give time, understand the current situation. You know what I mean? Let stuff like pass by. Obviously,
even without a current situation with COVID and all of that stuff, it's too soon. You've got to give 2-3 seasons minimum, no matter what club, what manager or anything. 3 seasons is the line. 2 seasons unless you're absolute shambles. But 3 seasons should be a minimum for any manager at any level. 100%.
Fair enough. That's a good shot. Liverpool 3, Leicester City 0. Initially, I thought it was the whole of Liverpool's back four that was out, but Andy Robertson.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
So pretty much a makeshift defense, but still, Leicester had nothing for them. Literally nothing.
They had a few youngers playing as well, didn't they?
Yeah. I was very surprised.
Yeah. Diogo Jota just carrying on the impressive form on the score sheet again. Even Bobby Firmino got in on the action.
Jota needs that team of the week card on FIFA. I don't care.
100%. It's only right. This is what I was talking about earlier. You know how we were talking about Spurs being the most informed team and then Chelsea possibly being second most informed. However, Liverpool, even with the absentees, like arguably the best right back in the world, arguably the best centre back in the world, Joe Gomez, and you're still getting these big wins against like European sides.
Yeah.
Are you still not favourites for the Prem?
Yeah, no, I was about to say, like, Liam's absolutely right in terms of, like, it's anyone's title to lose. Like, there's no clear, definitive front runner. However, like, until you beat Liverpool, like one of the main guys, kind of thing, you're not ahead of the pack, kind of thing. Like, the title goes through Liverpool regardless.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, any game they lose will decide this title race, regardless. Because until they lose, they've always got a say in the matter.
Yeah, 100%.
In my opinion, Liverpool, City, Chelsea, and Spurs are probably the 4 that will have a chance of winning that title. Arsenal,
I think Mourinho might surprise a lot of people this year. You know.
Yeah.
He's
hungry.
He's going to be one of those top 2 positions.
Jose could pull something out of the bag.
You don't have to
Yeah.
remember as well, yeah, is that, remember, I tipped Spurs to have a very, very good season. A lot of it down to the small but large signings they made. They made signings where they had to. And that was the most important thing, you know what I mean? And then obviously when you have a manager as experienced as Mourinho and like, obviously, once again, the whole like anti-football thing, he's at a stage in his career where he has a team that's far from anti-football. He has such an attackively solid side. He can't play anti-football, maybe even if he tried. Do you understand? And if you have that... No, go Breeze.
And with Spurs, so sorry to cut you off, bro. And with Spurs, they're always a team that's been monitored as like a team that struggled, like a team that's been struggled to be motivated, this and that. And they've got a manager who's regarded as one of the best motivators in the world, kind of thing. Exactly. And and I think Mourinho with Spurs, he's kind of at home because like he's known for managing the underdog where they're not expected to win, kind of thing. And a lot of people are like, they're looking at Tottenham and think, oh, they're not a threat, this and that. But they're going to be a big problem. Like, we can't underestimate Spurs right now.
Exactly. I think, you know what it is, yeah? If Mourinho does a mad thing with this Spurs side, I'm talking not even top 4 up, because I expect Spurs now to be in the top 4, considering the manager, considering the players. If they do go on to win the Premier League, if they do, and if they win the Europa League, considering that Spurs ain't won like a trophy in God knows how long, I think Mourinho for best manager in the world will become a conversation again.
Oof. If he does that, of course, it's a discussion that can be had 100%.
I don't see why not. But to be
fair, like, especially, do you hear what he said after he beat City as well? Like, it's just like, it's like old Mourinho's back. Like, you know when they said, they had 70% possession of the ball, and then he was like, they can take the ball, I'll take the 3 points, kind of thing. Like, that's peak Mourinho. That's what you house room.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Let's run through these last few games. Burnley 1, Crystal Palace 0.
What a game.
I ain't got much
to say. Congratulations, Burnley, for getting your first win.
Yeah, literally.
Chris Wood, fam.
I don't know what to say. That was a game that I watched from start to finish.
And what were you saying about Palace without Zaha?
Oh no, like they're so one-dimensional. It's unbelievable. Yeah. Literally, they go all the way to Batshuayi, and Batshuayi will pass it all the way back.
Yeah, and I've clocked something. So with Eze, is Eze the right way of saying it?
Yeah,
Eze. I'm not sure how his name is. Yeah, wonderful footballer, so gifted. But I've clocked it. So he's a winger. Well, he plays out wide.
No, he's a 10.
He's a 10, exactly. But for Palace, he plays out wide, yeah? Obviously, in a team like Palace, the wingers are important when they run down the wing and then they either try to get past their man and, you know what I mean, whatever, whip it in or try to get it off. Something Zaha is so prolific in, yeah? Eze, when he gets the ball, his first instinct is to always go inside. Yeah, against a team like Burnley, who are so congested, so anti-football, you're not going to get no pleasure inside. Do you understand? And I think that's where Palace lack, because they tried to play through Eze's wing so many times, but because he didn't exploit that left-hand side, he played on the left. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They just couldn't create anything. And then obviously, when the ball did go into like the path of Batshuayi, for example, he just couldn't do anything. Do you understand?
See that point when you're saying that Eze's a 10, you can't, in my opinion, you can't throw an out-and-out 10 on the wing, but you could throw an out-and-out winger as a 10. If that makes sense.
Yeah, potentially. But the only thing is though, with stuff like when your primary position is a 10 or a primary position is a wing, the only thing that may get in the way of stuff like that is what your first instinct is. So obviously, your first instinct as a 10 is to play in the middle. And now when you're thrown out wide and you're constantly trying to play through the middle, unless Van Aanholt's going to do the whole left-hand side for the whole game, which he did in numerous occasions, you saw Van Aanholt in very forward positions, you're always going to, do you know what I mean? It makes Burnley's job that much easier because Loughton was playing right-back, but Loughton was playing centre-back because he didn't have to mark the right-hand side, do you understand? And obviously, then everyone knows how good Eze is on the ball, so obviously he's going to have two men on him, you get it? And it just makes that, like, unfortunately, like, he's not Messi, he's not Ronaldo. Do you understand? So when you're getting double teamed in that way, not that he can't get out of those situations, it's not going to happen often. And even when Palace were in like more advanced positions, I think without Zaha, it's not looking great. So the problem now with Palace is, depending on if they sell Zaha, and it's probably a question of when they sell Zaha, who are they going to bring in that's going to have the same effect on the team as Zaha? And with a budget like,
remains to be seen.
do you know what I mean? Like, with a Palace, a budget like Palace's, a market like
Brandon Rivera from the academy.
maybe it has to be someone from the academy. I don't know. But
Shout
yeah,
out, Brandon.
I don't know. Honestly, yeah. And then the final game, we had Wolves 1, Southampton 1. I thought it was a good game. Walcott scoring for Southampton, which was amazing to watch.
He could have got more though. He could have scored more.
Yeah. Neto coming off the bench, scoring the equaliser. I think it was a fair game. I think it was a very balanced game. Wolves had more of the ball, but Southampton more on the counter. Actually played really well. I think they are maybe missing Ings at this point, just because a lot of the situations that Walcott was in, Che Adams was in, I think if Ings was in those situations, he probably would have bagged. But other than that, I think both clubs, they're going to be all right regardless. I think Southampton's going to have a solid season. Wolves, obviously, maybe not Europa League because of how they started. But if they can pick up wins soon, and they're going to have to beat the big teams as well at some point. So, But other than that, both teams, good teams, they'll be all right.
And for both mid-table sides.
Yeah, exactly. Now, recently, or a few days ago, maybe a week ago, Pep signed his contract extension with Man City. Shocked a lot of people. He shocked myself because I didn't expect it. But he is now tied to the club until 2025, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
He haven't been performing recently. Obviously, just coming off a 2-0 loss to Spurs. Only a 1-0 win over Olympiacos. Wasn't a great game. Pep signing an extension. What does that mean for City?
I thought it was a bit weird, to be fair, considering the fact that obviously what we spoke about a few episodes back and seeing how he might have been feeling burnt out.
Yeah.
I do think, personally, he has been promised Messi.
Yeah.
Or something along them lines, because
I do think that's in the equation, because for someone who doesn't stay at clubs for that long, to sign an extension that big in the grand scheme of things, you have to have been promised something, or there's just an unbelievable amounts of money involved, which I'm pretty sure there is. Maybe Messi to City is that one step closer, and maybe that's what
I think it's also to complete that goal that was originally set for him, which was to be Champions of Europe.
But do you think Messi coming to City will aid that fight for Champions League?
It'll give them a bigger chance. Will it bring it to them? No.
And what do you think that's down to? Do you think that's down to just City not being a renowned Champions League side?
They've got the quality on paper too. It's just, I don't know if it's a fight or what. This is watching them recently. It's just been boring.
Yeah.
And then there's nothing really there, nothing really too creative.
David Silva effect, didn't it, Clouds?
Yeah. I do think a lot of it's down to David Silva. Everyone talks about De Bruyne and how important he is to the team, but a lot of people forget that David Silva is probably the best player to have ever played for Manchester City.
And have you seen Sociedad's results? They've lost one game.
Bro, Sociedad.
Yeah, they're top of the league. They're top of the league.
Bro.
Yeah.
They've been unplayable, creating chances left, right, and centre. They've been amazing recently.
They're still a low-scoring team, though.
Yeah. Do you know what it is? It's and obviously with the La Liga recently as well, a lot of teams have changed to defensive-minded teams. Like, the league has become a very boring defensive league. Do you know what I mean? But Sociedad's finding ways to score, though. Finding ways to score, finding ways to break them down. A lot of it down to David Silva. Obviously, you got Oyarzabal. Januzaj's looking really good as well. He had some really good plays last weekend. But yeah, listen, when you've got a player like David Silva, regardless of age, because his football IQ is so high, no matter what age, he'll always be levels above. It's like Matta. When Matta gets a chance to play for Manchester United, his football IQ just puts him miles ahead.
Yeah.
Understand? And maybe that's what City's lacking. Maybe Pep, when he lost Silva, he hasn't found that replacement yet. People thought maybe Foden, people thought maybe Bernardo Silva, but it's hard to match David Silva's quality. But with Pep signing that contract extension, I just think now they're going to have to go big in the transfer market again. So it's another however hundreds of millions spent. Like everyone's just waiting for it at this point. Now it's just a matter of who. Obviously, Messi's being spoken about. Do you not think there's anyone else that maybe Pep needs to bring in to make that City team even better?
Left back.
How about bringing Angelino back?
Yeah, I saw a report today that said, why wasn't Guardiola looking into Reguilon as well? Like Reguilon would have fit that team like so well apparently.
Do you think it's because Pep's Catalonian, whatever his name is, and he didn't want those Madrid guys in his team?
Potentially, and that's why people were saying like this Messi move might be far fetched because apparently he wants Messi to finish his career at Barca. Like as a fan, he wants Messi to stay there.
Really?
Yeah, like every time like they've asked him in interviews, he was like, "No, Messi's going to stay at Barcelona," kind of thing.
When it comes to worse,
yeah,
they push him out. Whatever, you'll definitely take him. Like it's just one of those things.
Yeah.
I think though,
I do think the clause comes back in again on the contract. So.
Yeah.
Oh really?
Mm.
But you know what it is as well. Like then again though, we are going to touch upon like a subject that's going to coincide with what we're talking about now. Maybe I know it sounds crazy because we are talking about probably the greatest footballer of our generation, definitely. However, that does remind me. Rest in peace, Diego Maradona. Obviously, we received the sad news yesterday that he passed away. If I'm not mistaken, it was a heart attack. He suffered a heart attack.
Yeah.
He did undergo brain surgery on the 11th of November or something as well. How much of that plays a part, I don't know.
I should have saw the last picture of him. He lost so much weight. He looked well, but he never at the same time. If that made sense.
Yeah. You know what's crazy? I think you know what we're gonna do this. I had an idea for what like way I wanted this podcast to go, but let's nip the whole City subject in the bud. Obviously Pep staying at City, whatever. Let's talk a bit about Maradona. Obviously we weren't alive when he was like obviously doing all of that magic on the field. However, he was so good that even to this day we talk about Maradona.
He was bigger than the sport. Yeah, he's massive.
Hammer, didn't you tell me that like what was it? Argentina's having 3 days of mourning or something like that?
Yeah.
Apparently, from what I heard, they're having 3 days of mourning, and usually only countries do that if like your king or that dies.
So yeah, at the minute, the Argentina flag's at half-mast, and his coffin is at a cathedral and it's open to the public.
Like
it's crazy.
I was watching videos and at work as well. I was watching the news, and then you just had hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of fans like, outside the cathedral, waiting to go in, waiting to see the coffin. Like, it's how crazy is it that like one person, and like you said, he's not a king, he's not like a politician, nothing. We're talking about a footballer. Do you know what I mean? And we're not even talking about a guy of like big stature. We're not even talking about like a 6'2" mega athletic Cristiano Ronaldo looking player. We're talking about what he was maybe 5'5". You know what I mean? And he was just unbelievable footballer. Scored probably one of the greatest goals ever. That run against England, if I'm not mistaken, where he just took it from the halfway line. I saw Gary Lineker talk about it. He was like how Messi did something similar, but he did that in the quarterfinals of a World Cup. Do you know what I mean? Like I said, we weren't fortunate enough to watch him, but we talk about him to this day, and still we compare him to the likes of Messi. Do you understand? And I know for a lot of people, you know how there was a lot of people crying about Maradona. Maybe that's the effect Messi, Ronaldo will have on people of our generation. You know what I mean? And
100%.
Definitely so. Bro, just enjoy them.
Yeah, 100%. And then obviously, like, not to talk too much on his death. Obviously, with him, we know that his life was hindered quite a bit with all the like drug abuse and stuff like that. Obviously, that's not going to play a massive part to his longevity, if that's the correct term, you know what I mean? So obviously him indulging in that sort of stuff probably played a bit of a part in it all. But at the end of the day,
at the end of the day, he lived a life that was worth remembering. Like, no matter what happened, it was something that was like, he was larger than life. He was one of those figures that were larger than life. And the way Argentina doing that 3D memorial, I saw thousands of Napoli fans were outside with flares outside the stadium for Maradona.
They're naming the stadium after him. They're naming the stadium after him.
Yeah, they've also...
It's crazy how you can have effect on Naples, Argentina, and the whole world. Like, he was a god to all those places, kind of thing. It's crazy.
That's exactly it. For a lot of people, he was a god. For a lot of people, obviously, the whole hand of God situation, that played a massive part to it all.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what it is as well? We don't deep it. Like, he was only 60.
Yeah,
he was still in management.
Yeah. He was only 60 years old, and like when you think about it as well, like we've seen a lot of tragic deaths this year. Like 2020 has definitely been a year to forget. But when you think about it, that he was only 60 years old, and he's obviously like passed away. Like I don't know. I find it crazy. It's a very, very sad time. Very, very sad time for football. But I think at this, like, you can't bring no one back from the dead. So I think it's only right that everyone like remembers him for who he was, like the amazing player he was, you know what I mean? And for a lot of people, he's the best player ever. So just once again, rest in peace to Maradona. Like, no matter what, we'll still talk about him for years on years on years. When we talk about the best players ever, his name's always going to be mentioned. So in that way alone, he's already won, you know what I mean? And to have people like mourn over his death, like you can tell he was just a very, very special person. But I don't know if you have anything to add.
I can't lie, yeah. I never grew up obviously watching him. I'm too young and that. But like, obviously growing up, you would see clips on YouTube and TV and interviews and whatever. Yesterday, or mainly today though, it hit me today. Like, I was on social media to seeing all these videos, him doing all the tricks at his warm-up routine that time with all the kick-ups.
Yeah.
Like, how he changed the game was mad. Like, he was one of the most technical players. Every kid now knows all the skills that he used to do, the skills that are named after him. Like, it's crazy. And like, going through it today, I was in the car when I was at work, just looking. Saw a video of him at Salt Bay's restaurant cutting the meat and all that, and then him scoring goals at the World Cup goal and him giving the fingers in the stadium that time.
Yeah, the 2018 World Cup, it was a whole mood.
But yeah, it can't lie, it hit me. I was thinking, like, right, like, wasn't part of my generation, but it hurt. You know what I mean? It was mad.
Yeah.
Speaking of those videos, I saw a video where he was speaking to Gary Lineker, and like his conversation he had just showed you what kind of person he was. Like, obviously Gary Lineker could speak Spanish from his days that played Barcelona, etc. So he met him backstage, or like in a change room, and he was speaking to him in Spanish. He was like, "Oh, enjoy yourself. Is there anything you need while you're here with us?" kind of thing. Like, I'm gonna go be with my teammates today, but tomorrow, as soon as you see me, you can have whatever you want, whatever you need from me for your interview, kind of thing. And like, it's something he didn't have to do, but it just showed how nice he was as a person. Like, I saw another video where he was with Harry Kane, and Pochettino was there, and he was telling him, next time, Harry, stop shooting near post, shoot across the goalkeeper, kind of thing, because a lot of these goalkeepers watch you on TV, this and that, like, and he's doing this to like young English strikers. Like, he knew all of the major football figures, especially of this generation, kind of thing, and he had like a down to earth conversation with them, kind of thing. Like, he was just a good person deep down as well. Like, outside of football, he's just one of those guys that you hear about, especially even after you're born, after a generation. It's just one of those names you always hear, kind of thing. He's
nationally adored.
He's a folklore. He's a fairy tale. It's one of those things that you just hear. And yeah, if you ever want, like, people want to live the best life they can live, you only get one life. Try to live a life like Maradona did, kind of thing. Like, inspire people, inspire millions, and leave a legacy.
He had a great relationship with obviously the current Napoli players like Dres Martins, Koulibaly, and he always gives them advice and that sort of thing. He goes out of his way. That's one thing you can definitely say.
Do you know what it is as well? And like, he also had like a lot of bad press. Obviously, a lot of it down to the drugs and all of that stuff. But like, not like we obviously don't know him personally, but when you hear these stories, like it just goes to show that there's so much more to a person than what you see on TV.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, it's just the effect he had on all these people. You could just tell he was a very, very special someone. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, listen, like I said, and I'll say again, rest in peace, Maradona. And
Rest in peace, indeed.
He'll continue to inspire. There's no doubt. There is no doubt. I'm gonna talk about one more topic before we close it out. I didn't expect this podcast to go for as long as it did, but I'm glad it did now. This is what I was talking about, Messi. So recently, Zlatan's been flying. Zlatan's come back from America into that AC Milan squad. He's looking like he's 25 again. He's bagging goals left, right, and centre. Obviously, did pick up a knock on the weekend, so he is out with an injury. But he is now, how old?
39.
He's now 39 years old, and he doesn't look a day over.
No signs of stopping.
28. Ronaldo, same thing. He's what, 35, 34, 35?
Yeah.
35. Another player who's probably at the peak of his physical form. Also, he scored 2 goals on the weekend, scored a goal midweek in the Champions League. Just doesn't look to be aging in no way whatsoever. Now,
age that fine wine.
Exactly. Both of them aging like fine wine. Now he
likes to call it Benjamin Button.
Benjamin Button, that's it. Now we go over to Messi. Messi is what? How many years younger than Ronaldo?
2.
A year, no?
No, 2.
Let's say he's
33.
2, yeah?
33.
So he's 33 years old. Obviously, I'll say it. I've said it numerous times. I'll say it again. Probably the best player I have ever seen play football. However, recently, his performances haven't been matching. Yeah. You have Zlatan and you've got Ronaldo, who are aging but just seem to get better or just maintain this very, very high quality. What is now happening with Messi where that's not exactly happening? Not to say he's dropped in quality massively, but he's not performing maybe to Ronaldo and Zlatan's level at this moment in time.
Yeah.
Is it because of the whole, I want to leave Barcelona, I'm fed up of this environment, I don't like the ex-president, X, Y, and Z? Or is it maybe where, you know how he had the whole hormonal drugs and stuff like that? Yeah. Is that slowly having its toll on him? Why is Messi not performing at that same level right now?
I think it's a factor of things. I think one thing it definitely is it's not the best Barcelona 10 he could ever play with, or he has played with since.
Yeah.
Second thing I'd definitely say is everyone kind of relies on him, whereas you need to realise his age is kind of ticking towards the end, sort of thing. So you've got to take a bit more responsibility off him. And then the third thing I'd definitely say is obviously the off the pitch drama. You know, the president and him going at it. I'm hearing him and Koeman ain't getting along. So it's all different factors, I'd definitely say.
I think for Messi as well, transfer rumours aside, I think he does love the club Barcelona a lot, but I just don't think he's as motivated as Ibra or Ronaldo is right now in their current situations. On top of that, as Adele said, the team around him isn't great. You could say the same thing for Ronaldo or Ibra as well. But with Messi, everything seems to run through him. Any pass or pass to play has to run through Messi, kind of thing. And these past few games that I've seen him play, he just sort of coasts along, kind of thing. And lastly,
walks around the pitch after time.
Pardon?
Just walks around the pitch, even though he always kind of done that. But even when he just let the ball roll past him.
Yeah, he's coasting. It seems like he's coasting a lot, but I think the motivation just isn't there.
No.
And lastly, throughout their whole careers, I think Ibra and Ronaldo kept their bodies in better physical shape. So as they get older, I don't think their bodies are failing them as they go along. So they might lose that quick first step, or they might lose just the longevity or the stamina a little bit. But their bodies are more built to last longer and play like longer as well, to be fair. So that might be working in their favour and might be working against Messi.
Yeah. You know what it is as well? Like, I think obviously motivation plays a massive part. In whatever you do in life, motivation is always gonna be like one of the most important factors. But I do think also, like, you know, it is like just if you compare Ronaldo's like physical physique to like Messi's, for example, you know what I mean? It's uncomparable. And even Zlatan, how much of the height plays into it, I don't know. Obviously, guys who tend to be taller, you know what I mean? That,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? That coincides. But do you think Messi will play until he's 39, for example?
I don't think so.
No.
Ronaldo will play until he's 39.
Yeah.
How many more years does Zlatan have under his belt?
3, 4?
So you're saying he'll play until he's like 42?
Yeah, I think he's capable.
Yeah,
of
but
doing
not at the highest level. Not at the highest level.
I think he might do like 2 more seasons at Milan, then like just coast off somewhere else. Like go back to Sweden or something. You never know. Like I think the difference between Ronaldo, Zlatan, and Messi is Ronaldo and Ibra. They have a lot of intrinsic motivation. Like they have a point to prove to everyone else. Like I could still do this at this level at this age, kind of thing. They always feel like they've got something to prove. Whereas Messi, he's just known for dribbling and kicking ball kind of thing. He doesn't really care. He feels like he doesn't have anything to prove kind of thing. Like he just plays football. Like he just enjoys it for the sake of it. And if he's not enjoying his football, you're going to obviously see it in his output in the game. And I think right now he's not enjoying his football. I think that's the main differences between them.
Yeah.
No, you're spot on.
I think that's probably the case, to be honest. I think you know, it is with Messi especially, like, do you know they say what hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. And I think that's the difference now, isn't it? I'm pretty sure Zlatan and Ronaldo both are working harder than they probably ever have, whereas Messi's probably not putting in that work. And if we're talking about talent, like Messi's levels of, well, okay, maybe levels above isn't the correct term, but you know what I mean? Messi is number one, do you know what I mean? And maybe that's it. Maybe the motivation isn't there. He isn't working hard enough. And then he's allowing people like Ronaldo and Zlatan to kind of take the limelight away, because we're not hearing about Messi, well, not in a positive light anyway, like we used to. Now every week it's like, oh my God, Zlatan's 40 years old and he's scoring bicycle kicks and scorpion kicks or whatever, and Ronaldo's coming off the bench and scoring 2 goals, you know what I mean? And then whereas you got Messi, Messi's beefing Coman, or Messi's had a fight with my man, do you know what I mean? And maybe you know, maybe we're going to see the end of Messi's career a lot sooner than Ronaldo and Zlatan's. Maybe it's that.
I think he might even end it at Barcelona. You never know. Just like cut ties maybe in a year or 2, and that's it. I think he could be genuinely just falling out of love with the game.
Yeah. 100%.
Maybe this City move or wherever he moves to might be like a new lease on life for him kind of thing, where it's a new surrounding. He's got something to prove, like just an extra source of motivation kind of thing. Because I think Messi was a very early bloomer. He came into the game, 17, 18 years old?
Yeah.
The kind of thing. And
like, even at 16.
Yeah, and like he's just like from the jump, he's been at the top of the game. Like got his first Ballon d'Or at 21 years old. Like it's just like he's been doing it for so many years, kind of thing. Especially when you've won pretty much almost everything there is to win. If you're unhappy in your current surroundings, like I don't have anything to prove, kind of thing. And there's no intrinsic motivation there. And you've got all the money in the world. There's nothing that's going to lure you for money, kind of thing. They can't offer you money to stay. Sometimes you might just need a new scenario. So
but then isn't that, say that again?
Golf.
What, join Bell on the course? But if we're talking about like having won it all, but isn't he in a similar boat as Ronaldo? Though Ronaldo's won it all also. And
but Ronaldo's also a person. He's similar to like Michael Jordan. He just needs that something inside, just to switch mentally, and he's back on again, kind of thing. Like it doesn't take much to motivate Ronaldo. Same as Ibra. They've always got that chip on their shoulder, kind of thing. So Messi doesn't care. He just likes to play football, kind of thing. So whatever.
No, that's fair.
Like it just shows you different mentalities, kind of thing. Like different motivating factors between the players, kind of thing. What makes them so great? But yeah, like those are the main differences, maybe.
And that's always enough to you know what I mean, to make a player better than the other. You know what I mean? It's just that motivation to keep going. But I think we have reached the end of the podcast. Unless there's anything else you don't need to add.
Not much.
Especially with what happened in the world, man. Just enjoy the last few years of these guys. Don't compare them. Yeah. All right, I'm going to ask you a question. Who do you lot think is going to run the game for the next 10 years? Like, who's going to get the next Ballon d'Ors?
Haaland.
Him or Mbappe? Who would you choose right now to get the Ballon d'Or first?
Haaland. That guy is a sniper.
Claudia,
I don't know what it is about him.
I can see you thinking.
I don't know. But you got Haaland, Mbappe. I think you lot would be very, very naive not to add Felix into that conversation.
Yeah.
Other than that, don't know.
I think Mbappe, to be considered, we need to get a move out of France.
I think that is going to play a massive part, especially if PSG don't like progress in European football. Do you know what I mean? Like,
it's going to be hard though, because apparently Real Madrid want both of them, Haaland and Mbappe. So who's going to get the Ballon d'Or if they're on the same team?
No, but I'm pretty sure if they play together, like they're gonna help each other to, like,
excel.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? So,
I think it's better if they're rivals, sort of like Ronaldo, Messi kind of thing.
Yeah, 100%. And that's also another reason, like that. I think Felix has to be in that conversation because he's not gonna go to Real Madrid anytime soon. You know what I mean? So, and if we're talking about like best players in that category, do you know what I mean? He's definitely in contention. I do think Mbappe hasn't been performing. Like, we haven't heard of Mbappe as much recently in comparison to Haaland. Apparently, Haaland's had 91 shots in his professional career and he's scored 70 goals.
That's ridiculous.
And if that's not a stat to bloody...
He's a sniper, man.
You know what I mean?
I want to go on Google now. I'm gonna type in Haaland's stats. And I'm pretty sure, last time I checked, he had 33 and 33.
No, it's 32 in 30 games for Dortmund or something like that.
So... What are we in now? 2021, right? He's got 6 goals in 4 matches in the Champions League.
Top goal scorer.
10 goals in 7 games in the Bundesliga. Wow, he was ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Like,
he scored 4 at the weekend. And they were down. They were down 2-1 and he scored 4.
He scored 41 goals in 2019-2020 season. Wow. Figures of early Haaland, all he needs is a sniff at goal and it's in the back of the net kind of thing.
Yeah, that's literally it. Yeah.
Ridiculous player.
And you know what it is, yeah? It's actually quite, I think it's a breath of fresh air as well to have like someone like Haaland in contention for a prize like that because one, he's not like, he's from like a lesser known footballing country. Dortmund does have a big market, but he's not straight away at a team like Real Madrid.
He could have really played for England, you know.
Yeah. But you know what it is? I do think football's in good hands. We don't have Ronaldos and Messis in it, but it's in good hands. We'll be all right. We'll be good for football, fam.
Yeah.
You never know. Dortmund's young prospect could take over.
Yeah, potentially.
They got that Gino Reyna guy from USA.
But Dortmund, when it comes to like producing talent, they're always number one. Obviously,
watch out for Youssoufa Moukoko.
Yeah, he had his first professional debut on the weekend. I don't know how it went.
He was
16 years and 1 day.
So you know,
and it's ridiculous because from 15 years old he was playing for under 18s and he was like the top goal scorer.
I'm pretty sure when he was 13, he was playing under 16.
Yeah, his goal scoring record must be ridiculous. Apparently, he smashed all the records like in the youth for Dortmund.
He's different gravy. But it's just a player we just have to see in the men's game because, as you lot know, playing men's football and playing academy football is completely different. But
Xavi Simons as well.
Yeah. But see, the thing is, you know what it is, yeah. I think with him, it's more Instagram fame though. It's same with Kluivert as well. Kluivert was famous from when he was however years old. Now we can't even get a run in for Leipzig. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I think give players time, let them do their thing. When they come to the professional game, when they come to the men's game, we'll act upon it. And 100% the Seasons Pod will be there to talk about it. So on that note, people, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for fucking with the man, them. It's been your boy Clouds P.
Azabelli.
Oh, everybody to speak at the same time there. Bloody hell.
Sorry, Atancho.
Adzavelli.
Of course, Liam.
And we're going for another week. Hopefully next week or the next podcast we'll be back in familiar settings. So until then, peace.